Directed by wonderful show and visual radio alum Kevin Russo.
That's it. It's great. He did a good job. Did a little opening title. Well, here we go.
Now our guest.
Hello, welcome to the wonderful show. Is this Salvatore Viglione? Hey, all right, good. Hang on un momento. We'll get you going on the microphone here. And hello. Wow, it's very strange to be talking to the father of Joe Viglione after I spend so much time with him every day. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, good. Thank God. All right, so, first of all, okay, I'll go through this. We're talking to Salvatore Viglione on the phone from Florida. Sal, before we talk about your book, I've heard you're an avid golfer and friends with notable Winchester resident, well, although I don't think he lives in Winchester anymore, Joe Bellino and Moose Bellino.
Very close to both of them and played golf with both of them. But since I moved to Florida in 1998,
you don't see him as much?
Lost contact with them. But
what was the reason you moved to Florida? Just the weather?
The weather, primarily, because I miss New England. I miss the country club. I miss the food. Miss the children. It's difficult, but the trade-off of getting back shoveling snow and going through the tough winters like you had last year.
I completely agree. I would have liked to live basically anywhere on the planet besides here last year after all that snow.
But we put in 70 years.
70 years? That's not bad. That's good enough for New England, huh?
I'm kind of semi-retired now. I'll be 83 in July.
Yeah, semi-retired. I feel like your son's never going to retire either. He's going to be 94 and still writing.
It's very difficult to retire. I've always been very active.
I can imagine, actually. That was a big thing, you know, my father would say, is that you got to make sure you keep involved in things. Once you retire, you lose your marbles. So one of the things it says here is that you've helped run the condominium complex. Is that one of the things you've done to help you starve off the boredom of retirement?
It certainly is, and it helps a lot. And I've been, I've been successful in keeping the financial matters under control.
So yeah, how does that work? It's like a little government for the condominium complex?
We have a board members. We have 5 board members. I'm the treasurer. I was president for a number of years, but I gave up all the titles except treasurer because nobody else would take it. And I'm running managing the condo complex. And the only reason I can do it is I have the computer. I'm very organized. I maximize use of my time, which allows me to do multitude of things, you know.
That's good. Now, one of the things here is that the public's, now just to get into your book here a little bit more, you know, the public's perception of people with Alzheimer's is someone who just kind of sits staring out the window maybe, and but Joe has informed me that you still dance and cook and exercise and stuff with your wife. Do you think that that's a big part of keeping a positive attitude about the whole situation? And
well, it definitely is, because I've had 12 years on-hands experience with my wife, my sweetheart. And I can tell you from that experience that you have to have patience, compassion, and love. But they feel everything, even if they're just looking out the window. They're still human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Most people want to put them in the corner and forget about them, but I've kept them in the fold, helping me cook and you know, making the bed, whatever we do. And her caretakers have instructed that they have to keep her in the fold. I have a caretaker out there right now doing something, but Ann is part of it. We keep her in the fold.
Yeah. So it's not like, you know, like.
It massages her brain, number one. It makes her feel alive. It makes her feel that she's still part of society.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. So
do that, they'll continue living some happy years.
Exactly, and so if you were to like describe the book, how would you describe the book as, you know, who is it the audience of this book?
The audience of this book is the people that are already caregivers for their loved ones, or for anyone for that matter, and for people that are in their, you know, middle age and a little later in life, that want to get ready and understand this disease to be able to pass it on to friends, neighbors, loved ones.
Because I will agree that it is not something that's talked about nearly as much on, you know, you always hear stories about cancer and heart disease.
Comes up unexpectedly, and
right.
some of them are not ready for it. And the biggest example is you need long-term insurance for all the monies that you have to lay out.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I got it kind of late in life, so I have to subsidize the bill, which is fine. I'm still doing okay. But if someone would read it that's in their middle age, they're still young enough to buy long-term life insurance.
So you're saying because when you get older, it's harder to get long-term life insurance because they go...
It gets exorbitant. You're going to get a better deal when you're 40 than you are when you're 70.
Yeah, that makes sense, unfortunately.
Everything depends on your age. So I would recommend the book for people just to get a sense of what's going on with this terrible disease, because we have 5,300,000 people stricken with it already, and if they don't find a cure for it within the next 5 years, it'll double.
Really? Because of
the
elderly people? Because of the baby boomers?
What's that?
Is that because there's so many seniors?
It hits mostly seniors, but there's a small percentage of young people that get it, but most of them are old,
right.
70, 80, 60, you know.
So do you plan on expanding this book, or maybe, adding to it, or as...
Well, the only way I can answer that question is if my wife and myself are fortunate to live another 12 years with this disease, then I'm going to accumulate a lot more information than I already have.
That's for sure. You're going to have like a encyclopedia by then.
Correct. So in the next couple of years, if I think there's enough information that I've accumulated that would be very significant, then I would write another book and pass that on too, because on-hand experience is the only way you get to know it. You know, people have to experience it to know.
Yeah, I actually, it's that personal side of it that, because I mean, I'm sure there's tons and tons of written on this, but it's all academic or...
It's true. It's not everyday issues that come up, and they come up every day. And I've been able to come up with solutions for 12 years. Every time my wife hit another snag, I was able to figure it out, and we got back to normal. So it's very, very important.
That's impressive.
Very, very important to be able to overcome the issues that arise with an AD person. It's very difficult for them, and you got to make their life easier. And the only way you can do it is you got to have a little knowledge, inject some common sense, free.
Yeah. So do you have a website so people can find out more about this book?
Yes, it's at My Spouse and Alzheimer's.com.
Okay, and we'll put that up on the screen probably in a few minutes just to make sure. That's My Spouse and Alzheimer's.com.
And spell it for you.
If I actually have it right in front of me, but it's MySpousAlzheimers.com. Or I'm sure if you type in Salvatore Viglione,
it's possible.
You'll find it. Come on, people know how to use Google and such. So do you have plans on maybe writing any other type of book, or do you think that this was just because it was so much a part of your life you felt?
This was very important to me because I wanted to pass it on.
Right.
People that have already engaged in caregiving. It's really a caregiver's guide.
Right.
And the reason
aptly named.
The reason I speak about myself a little bit is to give them insight that you can do all the things you have to do and still be able to help your loved one. I certainly get some help, don't get me wrong. I have caretakers that help me, but I have to supervise them too.
Mm-hmm. Just to keep it all on track?
Yeah, keep it all on track, because they have to be trained also. And another little problem is too that some of them get new jobs or they want to retire, so you're forever training people.
Oh yeah, so it's not like you have the same caregiver for...
But sometimes you get lucky and they last a long time, but most of the time I've already gone through about 10 caregivers that I've had to hire, retrain, so it's a never-ending process.
Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, your wife is very lucky to have you where you can do that, provide the, like a consistency for her, which is pretty impressive, because you know, a lot of people
See,
at that age kind of just
book, they'll realize that you can do it.
yeah,
A lot of them are kind of afraid. They shy off of it, or
throw in the towel.
they have a hang-up with it. And if I can get over that hump for those people, it's going to make their loved ones enjoy life, and they will enjoy it with them. I always look for the silver lining. And you find plenty out there. And, you know, when your loved one is smiling and enjoying life and dancing and going to the gym and doing all the things that we do, we haven't really lost anything in our social lives. And she's smiling. She won't know that she was at the dance when we leave. But for the 2 hours or 3 hours that we're there, she's smiling and having a good time. And that's what's important to me.
I completely agree.
You know?
You should be very proud of yourself, Mr. Viglione. Not, of course, for your son or anything like that, but for what you've done with your life. Seems very impressive. And it's a heartwarming story, too. It's very interesting. You should check it out.
Well, Joe, let me tell you one thing.
Yeah, go right ahead. Anything else you'd like to say while you have your...
When you're with somebody for 64 years, you're bonded, and it's very, very difficult to let them down.
Yep.
You have to go the route. You say, when you get married, I do, and you got to mean it. And that's what happens. And I hope that the audience that is out there will take care of their loved ones if they're in the same predicament, because they deserve all the care. My wife took care of me for 65, 70 years now.
Yeah, so you can give her a few back, yeah.
He's taken care of now. He paid her dues, you know what I'm saying?
I get you.
And we got to be in the right areas of thinking so that you can take care of your loved one.
And certainly maintaining a positive attitude like you've done is...
You have to.
So it's a major part of it.
You have to stay strong, and you have to be patient, and you have to enter their world, and don't try to put them in your world, because then they're going to come back into your world. I have to think on their level to solve a lot of the problems, and that's how you can get by.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us, Mr. Viglione. I'm sure we will talk again at some point, and I wish you all the best. And I will, you should stay...
Me calling you Joe, or you want me to call you Mr. LaRocca?
You can call me Joe. What do you call your son?
I call him Joe, and you can call me Sal.
Okay, I'll call you Sal. Well, thank you very much.
I appreciate the interview, and it was very pleasure talking to you.
No problem. Anytime. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was almost too good for this show.
It's true.
That was actually interesting from a real human being saying something actually meaningful. It may be the first time it's ever happened on this show that we've had an insightful guest. So I encourage people to go check out My Spouse and Alzheimer's.com, and you can learn more about this, especially if you have a loved one who's dealing with this. It's a very interesting perspective, you know, from the inside, you know,
yeah.
Where I think that's very beneficial. And now I feel silly. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on with our show.
Moving on with the silly nonsense that is this show, but
that's what life is about.
Yeah, you know, you gotta have the sour with the sweet.
Right.
But man, do you know anybody who's even known anybody for 65 years?
I mean, yes.
Really? Like married? You know a married couple that's been married for 70 years.
Yeah.
64 years, sorry.
I mean, I knew them, yeah, my grandparents.
Oh. I guess my grandparents were together a long time.
Remember
They're still
them?
together.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's your longest relationship? Like 18 days or something? Mine's like 3 months.
I wish. 18 days.
18 days. Hey! Well, Chris has actual feelings and has a real girlfriend. So
That's true.
he probably knows what.
He's a human being.
Yeah, he must know what Sal's talking about. I didn't. I lost him there when he said about caring for somebody.
64 years is a little different than
64 years is intense, man.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like I've wasted my whole life up until now. Because who's going to take care of me, man?
It's true.
I need
a lot of taking care of.
Okay, so what do you want to do? Movie review? Let's do a little drum and movie review thing.